Hey, everybody, welcome to our second edition of Livestock Photography Live. We have a very special guest with us today, Bailey Quam Schultz from Lodi, Wisconsin. And she is someone who I've met through our course, The Complete Guide to Cattle and Livestock Photography. Her family has an Angus operation, and she really wanted to learn and improve her photography to help with the family business. So Bailey, thanks for taking the time to meet with me today and talk to other people about your photography journey.
No problem.
Appreciate it. So why don't start off? Tell me a little bit about you. What's your background, and how did you get started with photography?
Okay. I went to the University of Wisconsin-Madison for life science communication, which is UW's way of saying ag journalism and marketing. So I do have an ag degree that way. And about a couple of years after I graduated, we started an annual production sale, and we needed photography. And we're a DIY operation. If we can do it ourselves without hiring outside, we do. So I actually attended a workshop put on by Ranch House Designs, I think back in 2013, and part of that workshop was photography. So we bought a camera, we bought a lens, and I went off to Oklahoma City and we learned. And I took it from there, and there's been a lot of ups and downs. And I purchased this course as kind of a way to have another resource in my back pocket and to continue learning, because I'm by no means a professional, but I hope one day to get to the level that I could be maybe called that.
Awesome. So your family operation, what do you guys raise there? What do you sell? When do you market? So
okay.
Tell me about
so
that.
We're an Angus cow-calf operation. We run about 200 head. We have a production sale every fall. And then in the spring, we have some bulls. So we do send bulls out to Montana to the Midland Bull Test, the Western Illinois Performance Bull Test. But then we also need to picture and video the bulls that are on farm. And that's where we come in and we do that ourselves, along with all of our production sale animals too. We video and photograph ourselves.
Awesome. So you got interested in photography because of your family's livestock. Have you strayed from that much? Have you delved into other things creatively as a photographer?
A little bit. My husband and I do enjoy walking the pastures in the summer, especially in the evenings when it's cooled down and the sun's starting to set. So I do try to make a habit, and I probably need to make more of a habit of it, of getting out there in that pasture and getting those scenic shots, because what I found is it's always great to have those scenic filler photos, especially when it comes to marketing materials, whether it be ad design, social media, your sale catalog photo. It just so happened we redesigned our sale catalog completely, and we actually ended up pulling up a picture that I took of our freeze brand. I think I took it like 7 years ago. Yeah. But it's always good to have those pictures I found in your back pocket, because you never know when.
Never have enough of them either.
No. So I need to delve more into that.
Yeah, for sure. And I think that one of the things that I did when I was taking pictures full time is go out on the ranch when the light wasn't perfect for taking the cattle pictures. It was really perfect for getting scenic shots. And so while people got cattle ready in the morning or did chores in the evening, a lot of times I'd try to go out and get some really cool photos to use as those catalog covers and social media posts and things like that. And anymore with the amount you have to show up digitally, like your stock photo library can't be too big.
No, it can't. And you can always find hidden gems, I've found.
Yeah, for sure. For sure. So, did you learn photo and video at the same time then, or how did video evolve? Because you said you also are the go-to videographer.
No, so I actually started with photography and only did photography for a number of years. I've only done our videos. I think this was my 3rd year. And the first year I did it, I took the videos and we sent it somewhere to be edited, because between my full-time job and the deadline we were under, I didn't have time to learn Premiere Pro efficiently. But the last 2 years I've done the videoing and the editing of them. myself. And again, it's been a learning curve. I don't know if I'm the odd person out, but I bought a Sony Handycam because that seemed to work best for me. And I don't use a tripod. I don't use a monopod because through trial and error, my animals were somehow walking diagonally across the screen, and they seem to just work a little bit better when I'm using it freehand.
Yeah. Yeah. I think everybody finds a little bit different way. And if you're using one of those lighter cameras, it's really easy to kind of rest that against your body or your arms against your body and get good shots with those. And they're made for like photographing your kids' games. So the built-in image stabilization in those little kind of consumer cameras are really incredible how much stabilization they give. So yeah, I don't think that's odd at all. I think it sounds great. The how like how has your family reacted to like your growing skill set and your ability to do all these things and to be able to kind of go that DIY route and save yourself some money?
They've been really supportive, and I will say we've all had learning curves. So we in Wisconsin, for people who are familiar, we had a glacier go through, a billion years or so. And so we don't have flat land around here. So for years we fought the hills. And some years it worked good, some years it didn't work. We were building picture pens out in the middle of a pasture, and it was a hike to get from the chute to the picture pen. And it didn't work. One year we literally even hauled the cattle over to my husband's and my house because we live on a prairie where it is flat. So last year, I will admit my family spoiled me. We built a brand new cattle working facility on our place. We now have 2 chute systems, but we also built a brand new permanent picture pen, and we brought in a bulldozer, and we found a somewhat level place, and we made it even more level. So I got spoiled in that they built me a brand new picture pen with a holding area that's under 2 huge oak trees, so the cattle that are ready aren't getting too hot. They put in hand done locust posts with 5-strand electric fence because we were having problems with temporary fence cattle jumping out. So just getting those systems in place made a world of a difference, especially this last fall when we were doing cow-calf fall pairs.
Yeah. Your handling setup and for photographers, the picture pen, to me is crucial to have something that works. And everywhere you go, the setup's going to be a little bit different just because of the way cattle want to flow, the way that the ground lays, you name it. That's really awesome that you guys were able to make that investment in setting up a good place.
Yeah, I'll admit, they full on spoiled me.
That's okay. You had some spoiling coming, I'm sure.
And it makes working cattle a lot easier and everybody in the picture pen a lot happier when they're not jumping out or going under the fence. And
it's a huge thing that the animals' willingness to cooperate and how easily they handle makes an enormous difference in how well everybody gets through that day. And you're working with family, which is like the most difficult situation.
And my husband in the picture pen.
Oh yeah. So how do you guys work through that situation? Because that's not easy.
Oh, it's not. It's not. And we all kind of go in with like, okay, this is going to be a long day because videoing and picturing is stressful. I mean, if I could get away without doing another cow-calf pair or little baby calves, those are the bane of my existence.
Yeah. Yeah, they're hard.
It's good. I mean, you get a laugh, and there's been times where my mom, in the picture pen with my husband and I have been like, all right, you two need to separate.
One of you is gonna go do something else for a while, right?
Exactly. But I mean, it works out, at the end of the day. If I'm pregnant right now, so I couldn't participate in it this year, but at the end of the day, we all sit on the patio and make a drink or have some brandy slush and talk about what happened. There's always one calf or one animal in the lot that does something funny or is difficult, but after the fact, you can maybe laugh about it a little bit.
Yeah. Awesome. What how would you describe the process of learning as a photographer? You started in 2013, you said, so that's been several years ago, and it's not a particularly easy skill set to build, is it?
No, it's been really challenging. Like I said, we've, you know, my brother and my dad and my grandma up until this year were the only people on the farm full time. So between my second brother, my mom, my husband, and I, we all have off-farm jobs. My mom is now retired, but that leaves a lot of work to be done on the weekends, which really limits you sometimes, especially when you're picturing black cattle, because you need that full sun. And we've learned the hard way that you just can't fight Mother Nature. If it's a cloudy day, you're best just waiting until another day. We've tried it where I work till 4:30 and then would come out and try and picture a couple of cattle, but by then in the fall, the sun's setting. So golden hour. So, I've learned a lot through trial and error. And that's why I really appreciate this course, because you can Google photography things and look up videos on YouTube, but it's not related to livestock photography. So you can learn some things, but it's also very limiting in that a person's portrait photo isn't the same as a sale photo.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so do you feel like going through the course has helped you condense time in terms of like, maybe you still have some of that trial and error, but hey, I found this points me in the right direction, and so maybe there's less errors with each trial. Has that been your experience?
Yeah, I would definitely say, and that's why, like I was telling you, I keep the one cheat sheet in my camera bag, because just knowing, the general aperture range that usually works best, or the general shutter range that works best. Or one year I got burned by ISO because I had it way too high, and you couldn't tell until you got to the computer. So just having those resources in my back pocket, I think, has really helped me be a little bit more confident in my abilities and be more efficient then in making decisions in the picture pen.
Where would you say that you're at on your journey as a photographer today? Like, how would you rank yourself in your skill level, or how would you describe your skill level is maybe a better way to put it? And then what are you hoping to learn next, or where are you hoping to go next with your skill set?
I would say I'm by no means a professional. I envy the people. I see certain people's, sale pictures on Facebook and in sale catalogs, and I get a little green with jealousy and envy. But I would say I'm maybe semi-professional, a DIYer, side gig person. I hope one day, I don't know, I'm expecting our first child, and who knows how that's going to change my life going forward. But maybe it's something in the future where I could have a side business of livestock photography that works with my schedule and my husband's schedule with a new child. I'd love to get more confident in my abilities and more efficient in the artistic of it. I really want to explore getting more of the 3/4 shots that seem to be more common now compared to the straight side angle images. But a lot of that is practice and finding the time, I think, now that we do have a permanent picture pen, throwing just a random animal in the picture pen and playing with that and how to angle the animal and work the animal that way, and where I need to be to get those cool artistic sale photos.
It doesn't matter what skill that you're trying to build. There's no replacement for reps, right? There's no replacement for actually going out and doing the work. And so having that opportunity to practice with cattle at home is a really great resource.
Mm-hmm.
Was there a particular challenge you were faced with before you found the Complete Guide to Cattle and Livestock Photography that you were hoping to solve, or are you somebody who's just always learning and this seemed like a good resource?
I would say I'm always learning. What I really appreciate, and probably my favorite part of the program, is the Facebook group. Yeah. I really love having those resources and those people. I mean, there's been a couple times where I'm like, here's my sale photos. How do I improve? Just looking for any feedback that way. That's probably my favorite part of the program, is that community of people all willing to learn together and help each other improve.
I have been so impressed with that group. I think probably there's over 200 people in it by this weekend. The levity of the conversation and the openness and willingness for everybody to accept we're all at different skill levels and we all have different things to learn. And we can learn from each other. Obviously, I try to get in there as much as I can and help if I can. But one of the really cool things I've seen is like people who are in that group together who met because of that group, who are now friends on Facebook and like liking each other's posts and stuff out there. It just has connected a lot of photographers, I feel like.
I would agree. Yeah, I really enjoy just being able to learn people, or, you know, I shoot with a Sony and most people shoot with a Nikon or Canon, and just sharing bits and pieces, or like, what lens do you use? Because I do a 70 to 180, simply because the guy at the camera store was like, you can do 70 to 200, but you could also save X number of dollars by just missing 20 millimeters, and you probably won't even notice the 20 millimeters. So just, you know, those tidbits where it's like, you don't need to necessarily go and buy the super duper expensive stuff. You can learn, you know, you can start at the beginning and work your way up, and equipment wise that way too. Like I said, those resources and the people in that group I find invaluable.
Awesome. That is so cool. Have you found yourself like going back to revisit resources or rewatch a lesson? Like, say you get to a tricky part of editing process and you go watch that video again. Have you found yourself doing that, or are you kind of I took it all in and now I'm putting it in practice?
All right, I'm gonna try to. You're really fuzzy in your.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I don't know what it is. There's a huge feedback. So I've been able to get some of your questions, but that one got me.
I was asking, do you go back and revisit lessons?
I haven't terribly, but I always like having it in the back pocket. Like I said, aperture and shutter speed, those are the ones that I really like revisiting, because I think that's where I struggle the most. I want to shoot in manual. I want to excel in manual. And I think that's the biggest thing, where it takes repetition and practice to do.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I will just ask one last question since we have this little audio issue, but what would you, who would you recommend take this course?
I would recommend anybody who wants to learn and expand their business. You know, I think you can take good photos on any type of equipment. You can take videos on any type of equipment, and just learning the basics goes a long way. And even if you start off in automatic, it's better than nothing. And especially when you only have a few head of cattle that you're trying to market, you can't always hire somebody to come in and do it. And it's so handy. And in some ways, I can't imagine hiring somebody to come in and picture 5 head, because when you get a system down, it doesn't take that long when weather works and the cattle works and everything aligns. So I would recommend this course to anybody who wants to expand and learn, and grow their network of cattle enthusiasts or livestock enthusiasts. Like I said, that's my favorite part, is connecting with different photographers and livestock producers from across the country. And
do you feel like it's set up where it's for beginners, it's for advanced, or that it speaks to everyone? What's been your experience?
I think it speaks to everyone. And I think when you look in the Facebook group, it shows that you have people who, I believe it was just yesterday or today, somebody posted, you know, thank you for this course. You know, I was able to picture my cattle for the first time and I feel confident in my abilities. But then you also have the people who own their own professional photography business too. So I think there's something for everybody to learn. And I think there's always tips and tricks. Like I said, in my personal life, I run continuing education for veterinarians. You're never too young to learn. You're never too young or too old to learn, too old to improve your skills. And I think that's what this course shows. There's always tips and tricks you can pick up. And I think, you know, no matter your skill set, you can do that in this program.
Awesome. I'm so grateful for your time and for sharing your thoughts with us today. It's been great to get to know more about you and connect with you. I can't can't wait until I can help you solve a problem or get to whatever is next for you.
Sounds good.
All right. Thank you so much.